Okay, I blinked. Hello, hello, hello. I was trying to see if I could outstare you guys, but I guess I was unsuccessful. Or maybe I beat somebody. I don't know. You guys tell me who won that staring contest. I have to be honest, I was never really good at staring contests. My eyes, I think, are very sensitive to light, to dust. In fact, my allergies right now are like off the hook right now. Like, if I start crying during this episode, it's because of the dust. It is not just because of the emotions that we are certain to go through. I see we got people calling in, or I don't know what you call it, watching live from the Americas, Italy. I don't know how you say Italy in Italian. Dahlia probably, but I'm just saying it with an Italian accent to just be problematic and incorrect. At any rate, it's a Wednesday. It's 7 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. That means that this is what Wake Up With. Well, it's a Wednesday. It's 7 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, and I am WBM. So that means this is what Wake Up With WBM. It's morning TV for the 21st century. So fresh that we do it at night. If you didn't catch the drift, my name is William Bryant Miles, but you can call me WBM. And we are here to talk about who knows what, and to just have a really good time. So let's just get right to it. This weekend, I was so brave. I mean, so brave that I went into a department store. I went into the world's largest department store, actually, Macy's Herald Square, and I got some makeup that is the right color. Now, the only problem is I don't remember which color is supposed to go where. So we're going to have a lot of fun seeing how everything shakes out. Also, I don't know what's happening in the studio, but the lighting is a little different than what I'm used to, what we're used to. So it'll be fun to see where we end up. And as I mentioned, my skin is doing crazy things because of my allergy. So yeah, I just saw Miranda Anderson said, love that caftan. You know, I got this caftan, this little number was bought for me by a very, very good friend in Morocco. So that was a fun moment. And then also this pin, which is the black and gay intersectional pin. Can you see that without the reflection? So we got a whole lot of stuff going on. Hot Plant Mom, hey girl, she said that numbers are under 1% in New York City. And I hear that, right? And I believe that. I don't think that they're lying to us about that. But it's two things that are going on for me with that. So the first of the two things is, you know, how do we go from being hyper vigilant to just being like, okay, girl, it is what it is. Like, what does that transition look like? You know what I mean? I'm over here wetting my beauty blender type product. Someone told me that it wasn't wet enough last time, so I'm working on that. But it's like, how do we transition into where am I warmer around the edges? It's like, what does that transition look like? You know what I mean? Okay, the numbers are looking great. And then the other part of it is, until we get a vaccine, aren't these great numbers just reflective of the fact that we're staying our asses at home? And that, you know what I mean? It's like, you lose 5 pounds, right? Or let me put it like this. You want to lose some weight. So you've been eating all these cookies and cakes your whole life or whatever. You don't exercise. And so then you start exercising. You stop eating the cookies and cakes. And then you lose 5 pounds. Now, if you stop exercising and you start eating those cookies and cakes, you're going to gain those 5 pounds back. You're not going to gain them immediately. And I've been guilty of this. And so you're going to think that, because I haven't yet gained them. See, I don't even know what I have going on with this makeup. You're going to be like, well, because I haven't yet gained them back, you know, you're going to eat the cookies at the wedding, or you go to the wedding, you have some wedding cake. And you're like, oh, that wasn't too bad. Look at me. I'm still snatched. So then you're like, okay, I'll have the cake again. And then, you know, you're going to have some more cake. And then you're going to have some cocktails, and then you're not going to get up in the morning and you're going to go to the gym and you're going to still fit your clothes. You're not going to go to the gym and you're going to still fit your clothes, and you're going to be like, oh, I look so cute. I guess it was not a fluke, but like, I'm my new size. Eventually, one day you're going to get up and the clothes don't fit. The weight is back. And so I feel like that is us right now with the COVID, with the Rona, right? Is that we have to keep doing what we've been doing, lest we be back where we were. I also got some eyebrow gel. I got clear and I got brown. Let's use brown. And I got brow wiz. I don't need a pencil though. Let's just see what this brown gel is talking about. Brown gel hard brush. You know what I mean? I just feel like we have to keep doing what we've been doing. Ooh, that is good. It's a little thick though. I mean, that brow is kind of intense. Whoa. Whoa. But I like it, I think. Let's see what happens. Because it's like the powder and everything all in one. And you just use this little thing. They tried it with this though. Like, I mean, I imagine that they don't think that their target customer is a man. But that is, and I know this is a sample, but that is a little disrespectful. I also don't even really have like super large hands. I mean, my hands aren't tiny. My fingers are relatively slim. But I mean, they tried it with that. But that's a good moment. And you don't even see my uni as bad when we do that. I kind of like that. I may have to get this. Anastasia Beverly Hills, they know eyebrows. I may have to get that. I think I'm going to get that. That was a moment. You know what I mean? So that, how I want to be contoured down. This is going to be the opposite of a balanced face. It's like extreme. I don't have no mascara or nothing either. I just realized, but we'll work it out. We're going to work it out. So yeah, so I just feel like we have to be hyper vigilant or we're going to end up back where we started. But then it's also, you know, my mother and I were having this debate because, you know, she is very extrovert. I think we talked about this, but it's just like, you know, managing the decisions, like you have to figure out, some friends and I mean, a lot of people, we've been talking about this. It's just the question of like, the negotiation of mental well-being versus physical well-being in all things, in all ways, right? And those are also the questions of like substance use versus substance abuse, et cetera, et cetera. But in this specific moment, it's like we can choose to go out into the world and whatever, we can choose to shut ourselves in the house, right? And then if everybody locked themselves in the house and never left and only got delivery, had the delivery man leave it at the door, they pick it up after they left, things would probably be a lot better, a lot quicker in regards to these health and wellness challenges. That being said, where would we end up? I don't know what color this is. Let's see. I mean, anything is better than what we were coming from. But it's like, that being said, everybody would be manic depressed, right? Or not everybody, but the people that want to be out and about will be manic depressed, which we know is not good for your well-being either. So I think that like it becomes a negotiation. Of course, most importantly, a personal one. Look at that. That is like some really good coverage. So good that I think I didn't put anything on. It becomes a negotiation, right? Of like, what is your comfort level? And the thing is, this concealer is just so light, especially now that I'm tan and now that I have the right color foundation. So we're going to fix that. Actually, yeah, we'll fix it. You know what I mean? It's like, what is that negotiation? And it looks different for every person. And that's what I'm trying to figure out right now, like what my levels are. I saw that there's a show happening. There's a series of performances happening in the city. Brandon Victor Dixon being one of them, Joshua Henry as well. These are Broadway folks. And I think I'm going to try to go to one of the shows. I'm saying that now. But, you know, like I was talking to a friend and I was like, I'm really interested in it. But the problem is, in order to go to the show, I have to go to the show. And so, yeah, we'll see how that works out, right? We'll see how that works out. For me, what actually happens. The show is supposed to be socially distanced. The venue normally holds 300 people. They're only selling 48 tickets. So, you know, the seats are going to be spaced out. They're going to check your temperature, yada, yada, yada. The performers are 20 feet away from the audience. So you don't have to worry about anybody spitting on you. They're supposed to be plexiglass and all of this stuff. So, you know, not who's to say. It sounds like that they're taking all the precautions, and maybe the world is opening back up. Of course, the challenge with the theater in general, even if this model works in terms of safety and wellness, I should not have used that concealer. I need to get a better concealer now that I have the right color foundation, because that foundation is blended, honey. Can you see the foundation? Do you see any colors? I don't see any colors. You know what I mean? Up here, well, I guess I see it. Ew, what is happening? I have another one, another beauty blender that's clean. Oh no, that one is soapy. So just kidding. You know, but the math doesn't add up for a theater of that size, right? Like, okay, so if we were selling 300 tickets, and let's say tickets, easy math, tickets were $10. And so we needed to sell 75% of that. You know, so $3,000, 75% of $3,000. Let's do that real quick. 50% is $1,500. Where's Ish, the cool teacher, to help me out? 750. So 2250 is 30%, 75% of 3,000. 2250 is how much you needed to make, right? $10 a ticket. If we only have 48 tickets, let's just round it up again for easy math. $50 to sell 2250 tickets. You need to sell like 125 tickets at $50 to make that math make sense. Or you'd have to raise the price 50 into 2250. You'd have to raise the price into like, why can't I do that math now? To like $100. Let me see. No, 100 times 50 is 5,000. That's too much money. But to make 2250, probably have to be like $75 or something. I don't know. I can't do the math real quick. Or maybe $50 a ticket. $50 a ticket. It's like $40 a ticket. Between $40 and $50 a ticket. So that's four times as much. So that's not, that's not viable when you were usually doing. Oh, that was looking crazy. I want to just put this on a little heavier. I just feel like I look too natural. And also a little gray. But you know what I mean? When you were doing $10 a ticket before, you have to raise the ticket 4 times as much because you've reduced capacity by that much. I guess that could have been the easier math, right? What percentage of 300 is 50? And then that is the percent you have to raise the tickets by. I don't know what I'm doing now. I lost the plot. Speaking of lost the plot, I watched this movie this weekend called You Should Have Left, and I was a little annoyed because I actually paid to watch it. I mean, the same price as like renting a movie back on Blockbuster, and they followed them Blockbuster rules. You had 48 hours to watch it once you started. 30 days from the day you rented, which I guess like why would you rent it and not start it? So that makes sense. But then I was like, damn, y'all know if I didn't finish it, so I don't understand why I can't just have forever to watch it. And then once I finish it, it's finished. But I guess if you want to watch it more than once, blah, 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 you have that capacity. But You Should Have Left. It was not very good. Especially, this is with so many things in life, right? Like, it was built as a scary movie. And it just was not a scary movie. And so, as with so many things in life, if you don't, we're judged. Most of the time, we are judged not just against what we are doing or who we are, but we're judged against, or things are judged against what we expect them to be, right? So my thing is like, because I was expecting that to be a scary movie, I was considering it a certain way, whereas if they wouldn't have told me it was a scary movie, if they would have said something else about it, I probably would have had a different feeling, or a different response. And I would be like, okay, but since I'm looking for scary movie type things, I don't know why I made my nose this skinny. This is stupid. Since I was looking for scary movie type things, it just didn't deliver on that because there weren't really any scares of the gory or psychological kind. You know what I mean? So it was just like, okay, I guess. And then I'm tired, and I know they made it a plot point, like they did deal with it, but I need to get a real beauty blender. This little off-brand one from Ulta is not it. Now that I got real foundation. Shout out to Urban Decay coming through on the foundation. Oh yeah, somebody told me also that I don't stipple enough, that I'd be like swiping. And I guess that's because I don't have patience. Because I just be like, doop, doop. The thing I don't like about this NYX concealer, and maybe this is true of like all concealers, is that it dries down really quickly. Like really quickly. I do this nose crooked. I see that now, but it'll be fine. It dries down like really quickly. Also today, like I said, the lighting in here is doing something crazy. So the ring light is this is so not straight at all. Miranda Anderson says she saw it and rented it. So what are your questions? Let's talk about it. I mean, spoiler alert, the movie came out a while ago, but I'll ask the group a question. Could you marry somebody that was accused of killing their spouse but was acquitted, but in like a highly public trial where people had debates? For example, O.J. Simpson, right? We've all seen the nudes. Could you have married him after the fact? This looks like I was attacked. But I can correct that now, I think. Could you do that? And so that was a plot point in the film. Also, the biggest issue I had with the movie, aside from the age difference of the two leads, was that Amanda Seyfried, to me, she was acting like she was the nanny. Like, she didn't really connect to it like it was her daughter. Hey, Shea Wafer. Hey, Oh, okay, there's a blend. Courtney got jokes, but okay, Kirk, I hear you. We're gonna try to fix this nose that I just drew in the wrong location. Um, the problem in here really right now is the lighting. It's just not right. There's no other way to say that. Um, and so I just look like I'm in an abusive relationship. That was not a plot point of the film, but yeah. Another film I watched this weekend, which I hadn't watched in forever. Do y'all guys remember that movie Woo with Jada Pinkett Smith? Hold on, oh, look at all that. Welcome to New York City, y'all. You know what it is? It's because I have no light coming this way, so it's casting a shadow when I try to like draw stuff here. And then when I look dead on, I can see what I've done wrong. So now I need to get some side light. We'll come back to Woo in a second. Miranda said, and why was Amanda acting like that when she found out she was cheating? Yeah, so basically she was cheating, she got caught, and she really like acted like, it was just really weird. And like, she was acting kind of not like she was in the wrong. And basically the way they set it up, it didn't seem like he did anything that led to her cheating. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't like, oh, well, you cheated, so I cheated in retaliation, or you weren't present or something. Like, this nose is crooked and it's just gonna have to be, that's the choice we're making and we're going with it. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't like anything like that where it's like, okay, I get it. That's the like, it just seemed like she was cheating because she's young and hot and was in Hollywood, and her man was not, and I'm assuming she found someone who was. But it was like, you got caught, sis. Why are you over here acting like, how dare he be upset that you cheated? But the one thing that I didn't understand was when he kicked her out the house, that they were all about to leave because the house was weird. Why she wasn't like, I don't give a fuck that you caught me cheating. I'm not leaving my daughter here. Like, that's not how this works. Like, because if we have to go through the courts, I'm a win, especially with your history. You know what I mean? Like, bruh. So just, you could feel how you want to feel. I'll work it out, but my daughter's coming with me. And she just took that a little too, I don't know if laissez-faire is the word I'm looking for, but like, she didn't fight enough for it. Now that looks good, I think. She didn't fight for that enough for me in my house. As for me in my house, I need some tips on what to do with my eyes, especially days like today when I just am not trying to really like do like eye makeup. And look at all of this. I have so many bumps. Like, my face right now is just not. So I have to be honest with y'all. Today was a tough day, and I don't know if it's because of the bumps or the bumps came because it was a tough day. But I just had a lot of emotions, like, not just being stuck in the house, but the world. There's so much going on in the world, right? Like, in a way, the virus, as it were, is kind of like the least of our worries. That's a lie. It's not the least of our worries, but I mean, there are other big ticket items like the whole presidential election. And my thing that I don't understand, that maybe y'all can help me understand, is like, I get why people were not Team Kamala for president. Like I said, she wasn't my choice. We've had that conversation, right? She was not my first choice or my second choice. But the like vitriol that people who are supposedly, allegedly, purportedly Democrats have, even at this stage, when it's been determined that she is going to be the vice presidential candidate and, and hopefully the vice president, like, where there is no more debate around on the Democratic side, right? Like, there is no more debate around who will be the vice president. Why are people still so mad? Or not even so mad, but like digging up the dirt. Like, how does that help our collective cause in any way? Can somebody help me understand? Somebody tell me why. You know what I mean? Like, I just don't get it. I just don't understand that. I don't understand how it's helpful. I don't understand how, and then especially like with black folk, like on one picture, y'all talking about you rooting for everybody black, but then y'all over here dragging Kamala. Like, I don't get it. 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 This is what we're gonna do. We're gonna cheat this a little bit. Whoop, that ain't it. We're going to play with the light. There we go. We're just going to yellow this all out. How does that look? I feel like I look casket ready now. That probably looks worse. Do y'all think that looks worse or better? I just took the white light out of the ring light. We can always come back to it. But I just needed to feel pretty. That's it. That's what I'm going to say. I just haven't been. Yeah, so like I said, today was challenging. And, you know, someone told me, I was talking to a friend, this was another day when I was having a challenging day before I got on here with you guys. And they're like, just keep it real. And I'm always real with you guys. I've never sat here and lied to you. So that's not what we're talking about when we say keep it real. But I know that, like, I don't turn on the TV or the Instagram to, like, feel heavy or to counsel nobody else through the problems. You know what I mean? Like, that's what real life is for. That's what my friends are for and stuff. So I don't talk about a lot of that stuff. And I'm not going to get too heavy here. But I just want to say, like, today was tough. And I think that, like, we have to acknowledge that, you know, and I even got, I don't know how they knew because I've never gotten this ad before. But I got served an ad while I was watching something. It was like, it's okay not to be okay. I didn't click it. I don't know what service they were serving me. But that's the, Jessie J has that lyric too, which I like. When she's like, no, 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 seeing is believing. Well, what did Courtney say? So now there's something in my eye. We just gonna have to let it ride. But yeah, so let's simmer on that. But doubling back to what Courtney said, because he's talking about the Kamala thing. Well, there are some people who have been labeled progressive who don't think they should just have to settle for whomever the Dems or reps put up, and they want to only play if their candidate is the nominee. Well, but my thing is that, like, if you are feeling super progressive, this is the thing, right? Because I think that I'm very, my politics are very progressive. I don't really do labels. They're a little passe. But, like, you know, I'm very team burn it all down. And what's left of left, that usually feels comfortable for me. Once we realized that Joe Biden was the presumptive nominee, I feel like all of that shit went out the window. So to me, it's like, I hear that that's the argument, but it can't be that, because it's like, people are being mad that who Joe Biden picked. It's like, well, Joe Biden is so far from progressive himself that, like, you should have been disengaged, right? Like, if you're going to disengage and you're going to vote for a third-party candidate, which I don't recommend, I don't think that that's helpful, useful, or effective. I don't understand, like, if you're not going to do that, then I don't understand why you have an issue with Kamala, right? Because I just felt like Joe Biden is not reflective of your progressive ideals. So this whole thing, you should have been like, oh, it's Joe Biden, then I'm not playing. You know what I mean? That ain't my game. Kanye, what you talking about? Or like, what, you know, what's happening with that? Because so that's where I'm like, I hear that, and that, like, intellectually holds up, but in practice, I don't think it holds up at all, because that's not where we are. You know what I mean? Like, it's because she's a black woman, and I don't know why people struggle with accepting that is how motherfuckers are. Motherfuckers are fucked up and hate black women. They love, you know what I mean? They like black pussy. They hate black women. Like, people love black things, but they don't like black people. It's not news. And it's unfortunate. And I kind of hate that about the world. And I think that it's important for some black people to accept, and some black women even, to, this is the thing I hate about the fucking Fenty highlighter, specifically the trophy wife. It's very yellow, which I'm not, but I still kind of like that. But that shit, it's like, if you make a mistake and don't, like, tap it out, or you have a cheap brush, and in this instance I did both of these things, that shit just stays right wherever you put it, and it is intense. And this one I have is expired. This was, like, from the first drop, and it is, like, not calming down at all, but we just gonna make it work. You know what I mean? So yeah, and my thing is that, like, the only thing I can't stand more than a bigot is a punk, right? And a punk ass bigot. So if you're gonna be, like, hateful of black women, if you're gonna be misogynistic, if you're gonna be homophobic, stand in it. Don't try to fucking cover it up and call it something that it's not, and say that this is just about progress or these other things, or that, like, you just wish it were someone else. You know what I mean? And I'm like, Stacey Abrams, I hear what y'all saying about her and all this stuff, but I said this before, it's funny to me that when they mention her name, the only thing they can say about her is like she almost won the. I mean, that's not the only thing to say. She's done a lot. I'm not going to reduce her just to that. But in terms of politics on the national stage, or not even national stage, but like big time politics, you know what I mean? It's like she almost won. Almost made you love me. Almost made you cry. But everybody knows almost doesn't count. So that's that on that. You know what I mean? But who am I to judge? Because it's a lot of stuff that I'm still working on. You know? So Wu, all I got to say about Wu is I don't think I must not have seen that movie in full before, because when I rewatched it, I was like, I don't remember this. You want to talk about a misogynistic, homophobic, well, it wasn't homophobic, well, we'll call it homophobic because at the time, trans wasn't really a term, but I believe that that's what the characters that they were kind of judging were. But just a lot of phobias and definitely a lot of misogyny. And just like poor construction. Like, I want to know what the movie they set out to make was, because the movie that we got clearly was not what they set out to make. I'm not doing no hair today, by the way, y'all. Part of it is that's not what I think this look calls for. And then part of it is I just don't want to do it. But I have some things coming for y'all down the pike about hair. So, oh yeah, I May Destroy You. So I watched this week's episode Monday, and it was so good. And like the ending of that episode rocked me so much that I could not wait. So I watched the last episode. And so because of that, I'm not going to talk about anything because I'm going to forget what was from the last episode and what was from this episode. And I don't want to spoil anything like beyond this week. You know what I mean? I don't want to spoil it for people who didn't cheat like I did. But give Michaela Cole all the things. It's very good. You know, the finale does not disappoint. Like I said, the one that I remember this week's episode rocked. That last scene was tough to watch. It rocked me. Give her all the things. Give the actor that's playing Terry, her name escapes me. People say escapes me about shit they never knew. Give her all the things. I think she delivers a very layered and nuanced performance throughout. Yeah, it was good. It was good. So I think I'm going to use this fabric. We've seen this before, but it goes the best. I have this one, which doesn't really go. This one could go too. Which one do you guys want? Option A, option B. A or B? I'll give y'all a second. P-Valley has turned up the heat. Black Gay and On Screen is going to come back because of both of those shows, and then also so many other characters on TV that I want to watch. Oh my gosh, my allergies. Like I don't know if it's because this is like a chicken and egg scenario. I don't know if it's because my allergies have been bothering me so much, or if it's my allergies are bothering me so much because of this. But it's like I feel like I can see pollen everywhere in everything. Like right now I'm just looking at, and I'm in a closed off box. Like all the windows are closed. They've been closed all day. I'm in a box that is closed off, so to speak. And I feel like I can just see stuff flying through the air. I don't have pets in my apartment. I don't have any, animal dander, anything. But all I'm doing is seeing stuff flying through the air that's irritating my eyes and irritating everything. But it is what it is. And like my allergies for the last 4 days, I've been waking up looking crazy, like swollen, puffy, eyes running. I was playing tennis yesterday. I was practicing in the park, and it was like I said, every time I hit the ball, I could just see all of the stuff flying off of it. And like literally my eyes, like if I was playing a pro match, which in my mind I always am, the commentators would have been like, he's so emotional. Like you can see this matters to him so much because he's crying. And it's like, I'm not crying. I'm so excited and I just can't hide it. This show is all over the place today. Bear with me, y'all. Saved by the Bell is coming back. I saw the trailer. That show was such a moment in my childhood and adolescence. I used to watch it every day before school when it came on reruns. The college years were just awful, and that's another show that the first season was not it. You know what I mean? It's so fun. Like I was thinking about P Valley and how we were, and by we I mean me and at least one other person I know, we're just not really here for the first couple episodes of P Valley, but we stuck it out. And the show definitely found its lane. And it's so funny because it's like back in the day when you didn't have streaming, when you didn't have access to all these things, you had a lot more patience for shows. So like A Different World, the first season is just incorrect. It's a whole different show, right? They had to get rid of the white girl, Marissa Tomei, and Debbie Allen came in and made it feel more authentic to the HBCU experience. And then the same is true for Saved by the Bell, the first season, which was really called Good Morning, Miss Bliss. It wasn't called Saved by the Bell. So maybe that's not really the first season in a traditional sense, but when they show reruns, they do include it. And it's like they completely shifted that show, right? They got rid of Miss Bliss, they bumped up Mr. Belding, moved the show from Indiana to California, and just shifted the whole vibe, got rid of a couple of characters, brought in some other characters, and made a whole new moment. So I think it's important that we do give some shows some time. And it's kind of crazy because it's like, damn, we expected P Valley to do in 2 hours. I mean, 2 hours. Yeah, 2 hours, 2 episodes. What, other shows have done in a whole season. And then the whole season on top of that, once we do start watching it, the whole season ain't but 8 episodes, which I do think that's a little played out. Like, I get why the networks are doing it to hedge their bets, but like, girl, that's corny. That's corny. I kind of love this brown pencil color. Shout out to Wet n Wild. I think it just looks great with my beard and everything. What do you guys think? And I can like overline my lips with it, which I love. What do you guys think? And then with this color, it was so funny, right? When we started this color, we hated it. This is concealer. Just kidding. That could have been funny. With this color, we hated it. Speaking of makeup tutorials, did y'all see Toni Braxton did that makeup tutorial when she had that spider bite on her face and she was using a vibrator? And it was funny because someone in the comments, she used a vibrator. She's like, this is like my favorite facial tool. She's like, I've never used it on anything else. But someone was like, girl, like Clarisonic came out with a whole line of products that does that. Y'all didn't say A or B. So I'm just going to make an executive decision, which I think I like this one better right now. But Toni Braxton has new music out. That's what I got to say on that. But, Secrets will always be a legendary album. There's nothing that can ever undo that. The Heat was a good, gave us some bangers too. I didn't listen to The Heat beginning to end the same way I listened to Secrets, but The Heat was a good album and it gave us some hits. I should say The Heat gave us some hits. And of course, Toni Braxton, the first album. So that's what I got on that. But yeah, she has new music out. Her new video is called Dance or Just Dance or I don't know, something like that. Oh, that looks really good. But do I want this thing in the front? Don't leave me in all this pain. Don't leave me out in the rain. Bring back those nights when I held you beside me. So yeah, so that's what's going on with that. Then, so to get ready for this show, to just get me in a better space, I had to put on my little meditation playlist, which is just a combination of like, it's not really meditation because I'm like singing out loud to the whole thing the whole time, but it's just, different gospel songs and motivational songs to help me get ready for y'all, give me a good headspace. And I forgot how some of these songs really go hard. Destiny's Child, Happy Face is such a motivational tune. Lizzo, Coconut Oil, God is Real, India Ari. I can share the playlist with you if you'd like. Hit me with $2 on Venmo. Just kidding. I can share it with you. It's on Spotify. Everyone was saying the Victoria Monet album was good. And so I was like, oh, I'm going to check it out. And I like carved out time and a moment this weekend to listen to it. And I will say that them 4 songs and 28 minutes of music were good. But like with P Valley and all those shows talk about, is that what we call it, an album now? Is that what we're calling an album? Because it was like 29 minutes. But I guess that's how long the Supremes records were. That's why they had like 40, 100 records. It was nothing for them to get in the studio and just bang out 6 songs that were 3 minutes each. 2.5 minutes each, really. And there you go. You got to flip the record over. But that was also because the actual apparatus was shorter. You know what I mean? Like, the actual apparatus was shorter. Isn't it funny? Like, don't you hate when you scroll into people's lives and you don't really want to watch, but then they get a notification that you're watching, like Black Tinkerbell. Don't know if you're going to stick around, but hey, Black Tinkerbell, now you feel guilty if you leave because I called you out. But you can do what you want to do. It's your time. I'm not paying no bills on your Instagram. So do what you want. I was going to sing Do What You Want with my body, but that's an R. Kelly penned tune. So look at them, they're here. Hey. So we're not going to sing that. What else? I had some other notes. Yeah. It's so much stuff going on in my eyes right now that like y'all don't understand. So I'm giving you African teas. How do we feel about this? Let's lean back. I'm like, get too close, you see all my secrets. But if we just give you a little... See, Naomi Campbell shot the cover of Essence, like, on, what are you cooking? Like, think what I said, I'm listening to cooking. Oh, should I have, like, left a little piece out and then just be like, it's a little tendril? So this is supposed to be an improvement, I don't know. But she shot the cover of Essence, like, herself. And then there was another photo shoot where the photographer was shooting her, I think it was her, but shooting the models via FaceTime. So, you guys can take my picture, all of this, and we can give you... This is like my go-to pose, which is so stupid. But what other poses can you do in this frame? I need some help with my poses. Don't people be like, this is my pet peeve in life, and friends will be able to tell you the truth of this, where they will be like, they're somewhere and they think they have on a cute look, which usually they do, right? I hang out with people who tend to, I think, dress well, generally speaking, or beautiful, generally speaking. No, all my friends beautiful. And they will, they'll be like, take my picture. And so then they'll stand somewhere and they'll be like, take my picture. Did you get it? And I'm like, bitch, I took 24 photos. Like, give me something else. If you say, because it's like, if that pose doesn't work, if the light, whatever, if it doesn't work, they'd be like, take more than one. Well, give me another pose. You supposed to say, take my picture. And then you say, did you get it? Because that way there's, we can go through those options and we can be like, oh yeah, the lighting is not right. Because we're only trying to get one. Some of y'all like to do 3 on the grid, but that's it. Like, so it's like, if that, whatever. And then we stood there, I took 20 pictures of the same shot and they're like, oh, I look fat. Yeah, you do. You did. And so that's why if you would have done one sucking in and one letting it out and one, crossing the legs, creating some shapes with the body, creating some moments, then we'd be able to, see it or whatever. So, but we're not here to do pose class, are we? Maybe. Why not? So we'll talk about, I only talked a little bit about woo. I think I want to go in depth about that later. So yeah, so that's what I have for this week. This was a challenging thing, and I think it's just important for us to take time to be honest with ourselves about what we're feeling. Because one thing I've learned in this moment of different existence, this is like the very special episode, is that when things come up, they have to be dealt with, right? Whether we want to or not. And avoiding them does not make them go away. It just makes them ferment. And sometimes fermented things are good. I love pickles. I love kimchi. I love vinegar. I love wine. All of those things are results of the fermentation process. But even wine can go bad, right? Like even kimchi, if it gets a little air in it, it's going to be funky. And so we have to make sure that we're dealing with things, and that if we're putting something on ice, that we are still nurturing it even while it's on ice or while it's fermenting, that we're still, being present and connecting to other parts of ourselves. And I think that like right now we have so many unique circumstances, and in one way, I think that that's actually like really exciting. I even quoted this in my work dealing with some clients where I'm like, the beauty of this moment is that there is not a person alive who can say they have expertise in what to do in this moment, right? Like there is no one alive who can be like, well, at my last job, when this happened, we blank. At my last company, when this happened, we blank. The last time the industry shut down for 6 months in this way, this is what we did. Nobody alive can say that. We are all guessing, hypothesizing, trying things out, and trying our best. Now, based on our different experiences, we may be able to come up with different hypotheses, suggestions, or thoughts, right? Because you might be able to say, well, I worked at a company where something had elements of this, but nobody has a like for like thing, right? And so I think that there's a freedom in that, which is that from here on out, we're all on equal footing to a certain extent. Obviously, Jeff Bezos hoarding all of that money, Apple being valued at $2 trillion, which is just a made up number that everybody's celebrating. It's money in the sky that y'all keep throwing into the stock market. Okay, whatever. Those things put us on unequal footing in one way, but on the other way, it's like, guess what? There is no blueprint. There is no playbook for this. It is everybody making their best guess. I'm sharing that to say, be empowered in this moment to try that bold and radical thing that you were afraid of, or that someone told you, someone who you thought had more experience and more know-how gave you a different thought, or said that their thought was better. Know that right now there is no, whether you are the CEO or the secretary, none of us has lived through this before, and so any of us could have the solution, right? Any of us could have the answer. And I'm not just talking about the health problems, but just all of the other challenges that have been presented in our lives. And then also knowing that some of these things are not even challenges. They are just differences. They are just moments where we are going to exist and be different and become different. And that it's not even a challenge. It's just a way of life. There was a point in time when it was unfathomable, not just because of technological capabilities, but just the way of life. It was completely unconscionable. Is that the word? That, someone would be sitting in their home on a random day doing makeup poorly for no reason that they're going to wash off as soon as they close the screen, and people are going to watch it. That just seems so far-fetched. No, we're going to be at home with our families. You get to be a certain age, and we're all going to be at home and family, and I don't want to say family again, and this is how culture is supposed to behave. And then we'll watch the TV show at 8 o'clock, and then at 10 o'clock we'll go to bed, maybe have a phone call, and that's that. Like the world that we live in now was unimaginable at a point in time until someone decided it should be so, and until certain things shifted how we did. The idea that we take off shoes to get onto an airplane, that you don't just walk onto a plane and pay while you're in the sky, right? Like things happen in the world that shift how we are, and only history, when it's all said and done, will tell, was it for the better or for the worse, but it's for the different. And so I think that this is one of those moments. And so the question that's being asked of all of us is like, how will you show up differently? And on the personal level, it is absolutely up to you whether you'll show up better or worse. It remains to be seen for humanity. But I think if each one of us makes this effort to show up better, then humanity has no choice but to show up better, right? Like if we all are individually better, then the collective will be better. And all we can control is ourselves and our actions and our choices. So yeah, so that is my my word of encouragement, my sermon, my soapbox, my ministry, all of that. Take a screenshot. Did you take my picture? That's what I have for this moment. I'm also coming with some of you may think it's sad news. I think it's very encouraging news. This was a pilot season, not a pilot season. This was a trial run, as so many shows, same thing happened with Wendy. The network gives you a couple weeks in the summer, and then they see how you're doing, and you get renewed, you get, picked up for a full season, etc. So we are going on hiatus for just a couple weeks. We'll be back in September, hopefully, The network has said some very encouraging things, but it still remains to be seen. But next week, you will not see Wake Up with WBM in this or any other capacity. Of course, you can always watch the reruns, follow me on social media. But we're going to take a couple of weeks off. And then when we come back, we will be bigger, badder, better than ever because you guys helped us shape this into something really, really exciting. So I'm looking forward to all of the possibilities that may bring. I see you guys already saying no and being sad. We're talking about hopefully 2 weeks off. Just to, like I said, retool and to just get really tight for a full season order. They gave us 13 episodes as a little trial run, and we're hoping to get like full, 26 40 episode run. In the meantime, if you would still like to catch me, I'll be popping up a lot of different places. Some of the ink is not dry on some of these contracts, so I can't share where. But one place that I do know that I will be showing up for real is tomorrow at 10 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, 7 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time, and whatever else is in the middle or anywhere else in the world. I will be on Slate's podcast. Well, I don't know if it's what do you call like what this is? It's not a podcast, but Slate has a podcast called Mom and Dad Are Fighting, which one of the hosts is my very dear friend Jamila Lemieux, and she also has another show on Slate. It streams live on YouTube and other platforms called The Kids Are Asleep. And so, I don't have children. I ain't birthing no babies, Miss Scarlett. But I love talking when they're asleep. So Jamila and I are going to have a grand kiki. So you guys can catch that. Always best, as you know, with these things to catch them live, but that'll also be repeated for you, and that'll be on YouTube. I'm probably going to go live before on my channel to figure out what to wear. I'm lying. I'm not going to do that, but you guys can text me. You've seen all my clothes. Just go through the different episodes and tell me what to wear. Yeah, so that's what I have on that. I'm trying to think, especially since now that I've let the cat out the bag that we're going to be on a break for a couple of weeks, if there's anything else I wanted to talk about with you guys before we leave. I really do love this caftan. So if anyone else is going to Morocco, there are two things that are in Morocco that I love. The other one I'm looking at right here, but I don't want to get up. They have like these little triangle-shaped leather slippers that I stand for. And so I got a pair of those, and I would like another pair. And then I also have this caftan, which I also stand for. If you've ever been to my home, I love entertaining in caftans. They are super comfortable, and to me, they are like the epitome of like Black excellence. It's a lot of my fashion inspirations come from just like opulent Black women, to the point that now I actually just got the Especially Yours catalog, which is like church suits and synthetic wigs. I don't know what I purchased, because all of the shit like this that I buy like from Rainbow or like thrift stores. So I don't know what I purchased or what I did that made them send me the catalog. But now I have it. Like if I get the Astro catalog, then I know that I'm like, it's a wrap. But a lot of my choices are tributes to those iconic images, if you will, or that. I need a haircut too. Oh, you can see the wig. This is ghetto, but I need a haircut to bring this like to trim these edges down. But so I'm all over the place. I love caftans is what I'm saying. So if you can never go wrong getting me a caftan. I think they're just so easy to entertain in. I have silk ones, cotton ones. I love them all. And again, the Black and gay intersection pin, because being Black and gay or Black and LGBTQ plus are not mutually exclusive, nor are they contradictory. You can be both, be pro-Black and pro-LGBT at the same time. I know so many people who are. You don't have to be either one of those identities to celebrate that intersection. So, Brendan wants some slippers too. And I hear they're actually not that expensive. So if we're ever allowed on planes again, you know what I mean? Let's work it out. That's what I got. Thank you, Clarence, for wishing me a great vacation. I do intend to get some sun, maybe read a book, go to the beach. Kind of want to go on a roller coaster, but that may be a step too far. But so that's what I got. I wish you all safety. I wish you peace. I wish you love. I wish you joy. I wish you whatever you want for yourself, and then a step above that. In the meantime, choose joy. This has been so fun. I'll see you all soon. Who do you think I am? Don't you know that he was my man? I didn't even sing today, but I chose to let him go. What are you thinking? Do you know about us?